hot.
Hello, Knicks fans. Welcome back. Big Nick Burt with the Big Nick Energy. I'm here to talk about Mitchell Robinson. Nothing bad, nothing good, just getting a sense of what's going on with this team and is he going to be here next year? I think a lot of fans are torn between wanting to keep Mitch as a homegrown talent and overpaying or making the wrong decision or, letting him walk away. I think all those would hurt. I think overpaying would hurt just as much as letting him walk away. So Knicks fans are obviously pretty torn, pretty upset, they're in limbo. We don't know what to expect with Mitch. And I seen some tweets yesterday from Julito McCullum, and MJ says, as well as Daniel Lopriori, I don't know how to say his name, so excuse me. If I get it wrong, I'll put all the tweets up, obviously. But basically, Julito's saying Mitch is gone, right? Mitch is, he's as good as gone. If you looked at his uncle's tweets, if you looked at the reputable sources of sports media in New York, Julito says Mitch is as good as gone, which is fine, which is valid, because if we look at Mark Berman's articles on it, if we look at Ian Begley's articles on it that have been redone and redone and redone on a million different sites, what can we see? And what we see is a whole lot of nothing. We don't know. So we know a few things for a fact, right? We know he doesn't have a contract extension. We know he's going to be a free agent by June 30th if he doesn't get a contract from the Knicks. He'll become a restricted free agent, and someone will be able to offer him money that he will most likely take, right? Because we'd be foolish not to. So we know he doesn't have a contract. He needs a contract by the 30th, and that's all we know. If we look at his uncle's tweets, we know he is unhappy with maybe his role in the offense. It's a contract year. He wants to show up. He wants to, score more, have the ball more, be a presence, be that guy. And, it's not RJ's contract year. It's not Randall's contract year. It's Mitch's. So when his uncle tweets about his ability or the coaching or the point guards not giving him what he needs, we can take that as, this is his money we're talking about. This dude wants to go out and show up big, get a big payday, and keep living his life. But I don't think those tweets are going to be telling us, oh, he's leaving, I think it's just obvious he has a motive. His motive is get his nephew some money. Get his nephew some money. That's it. That's all there is to it. And I think putting a lot of weight into his uncle is maybe a mistake. So who can we put weight into? And we'd like to say Ian Begley or Mark Berman, and that's just not the case. If you look at their articles, they both, it's just a lot of fluff. They're just talking about, oh, he could extend, oh, he could do this or that, and Detroit might want him, and this and that. And that's just them doing their due diligence, when in reality, it's just them making something out of nothing. Like, yeah, we know he needs to have an extension. We know it's a big year for him. And when they ask him about it, he says, let's talk about this season. Like, obviously this is a big year for me. He needs to get the money, but he's not going to come out and say, oh yeah, this is all about the money for me. Like, he's playing really well, and let's just focus on that. When June 30th comes and goes, we can talk about something different. But until then, we know they're in contract negotiations. And even Ian Begley even said it, oh, we don't know the exact number that they're offering him. Yeah, of course you don't know. And I can almost guarantee the front office told Mitch, hey, if you do XYZ on the second half of the season, you're going to get this amount of money. So that's why they're not, falling over themselves to give him money right now, or lock him in or whatever. And that's why he's not telling him he's leaving either, because I think he wants to be here. He wants to be here. I think the FO has offered him, at least some incentive to say, hey, if you average this that and the third, it's probably something along the lines of minutes, games played, points, rebounds, blocks, whatever, some sort of impact. I'm sure they're like, yeah, you can expect $12 million a year. So that being said, yeah, Ian Begley, we don't know what they're offering him, but they'd be foolish not to offer him something. So for Julito to say, oh, check his uncle's tweets and do some Googling, it's been reported a million times, to say that he's definitely leaving, I think is kind of crazy. So don't put too much stock in his uncle's tweets. Don't put too much stock in Mark Berman or Ian Begley, because they don't know. They don't know. I don't know. Julito don't know. Nobody knows. Mitch doesn't even know. If he knew, he would sign that contract. But they didn't offer him what he wants. Like I said, I'm sure they told him, hey, do this and that, and you're in. And that's what he's trying to do, clearly, because he's coming out, playing really well, playing hard, playing like he wants to get that bag. So I wouldn't say, oh, Mitch is leaving. Definitely not. That's definitely not a absolute. So, what else can we see about Mitch? And what kind of timeline can we make out of these, when I saw it, I thought these were small events that didn't really matter. He went into this Twitter space over All-Star Weekend and didn't answer a question, ha ha ha. And people were laughing about it. It was just like kind of, in passing. So I revisited that whole week. Now the 17th, February the 17th, was the 28-point comeback by the Nets to beat the Knicks. And following that comeback, people had a lot of things to say. Now I'll put up one clip of this guy.
Everyone's to blame at this point. There's no excuses for anybody. So this team's got no passion, no heart. Mitch can get off my team. I literally DM'd him last night. I know he's not going to read my DM. I went off on him. What the was he talking about? And this isn't the first time he said this. He's done this multiple times where he's really just cares more about himself. I know he's just a lob threat. I get it. And he's probably right 1,000%, but you don't need to go on social media and talk about that.
James came into Julito McCullum's space. This is this KCDA, Knicks Chatter, Knicks Chatter, Next Day, Knicks Chatter, whatever it is. I think it's KCDA, Knicks Chatter Day After. That's it, Knicks Chatter Day After. KCDA space, and basically said because of Mitch airing out his grievances towards not having a point guard on social media, he went into his DMs and lit into him. And this was on the 17th. Now, Mitch's uncle, and him had a little conversation on that same day, saying the fans are weird. 1 minute they love you, then they hate you. And then the 20th comes. 2 a.m. on the 20th, Mitch goes into a space with Hannah Hoops, Mev, and I couldn't see the other one. But I'll put the clip up here.
Mitch, I have a question. So, do you think, since we were the 4th seed last season and we accomplished a lot, do you view this season as a failure, basically? Because we just got a lot worse and not everything's going our way this season.
I see it was a real question. Yeah. Huh?
Wait, what?
Yo, Mitch.
And she asks, do you think this season's a failure? And he's just like, I'm not answering this. I was looking for a real question. That's not a real question. Is this season a failure? Not for Mitch, because this season, he's trying to get a bag. So the record means nothing to him. Being 4th seed last year versus being whatever seed we are this year, it means nothing, because last year he wasn't trying to get a bag. This year he is. This year he has decisions to make. He has family to take care of. He has his future to look forward to. So this guy, James, hopping in his DMs on the 17th, lighting into him for, airing some grievances on social media. And I admit it, it's not the best thing to do, but this is the fans base that he's dealing with. So I just can't help but think about what Ashley Moss was saying about the toxic fans And sometimes we push it too far, and sometimes we do too much.
They don't have to tolerate it. They don't have to stay in that environment, and they don't have to come to an environment where they feel that they're constantly under attack. And that's not because they're not built for it. Nobody wants to exist in a toxic environment. Nobody. I don't care how tough you are. You don't want to have to go into your home every single game or every other game and feel like there are daggers being thrown at you from every corner of the arena. Nobody wants to deal with that. So it's not about not being tough. It's not about not being built for New York. There's levels to it. There you can be built for something, but not want to deal with the intensity all of the time, constantly on go.
So you hop in his DMs, lading into him and letting him know how you feel about his performance or whatever, and he's just like, I'm just trying to do what I can do with what I got. I'm just a guy out here trying to do a job. So I see why he hops in to that space a couple days later, early morning, maybe, been partying a little bit. Who knows? I don't know the scenario, but what I do know is he gets a nonsense question that he can't answer and leaves. And now it's like, it's not controversial, but it's like, you can see he's wanting to reach out to the fans and make it known, like, listen, like, you guys got grievances, but so do I. So keep playing your heart out, Mitch. Keep playing for yourself. Keep playing for that bag you're going to get to change your life and your family's life, because that stuff only comes for some people, it never comes. So for you to get it, do your thing, get out there and just silence it. Silence these people who are talking too much. Don't check those DMs. Don't hop in those spaces. And if you really want something to, to big up your spirit, come by my channel. Let's talk. I want to take you fishing, man. It's about to be springtime. So this is my formal request. Mitchell Robinson, if you want to go fishing, hit me up anytime. I will take you out. We'll catch a nice largemouth bass. Personal record, 6 pounds. 6-pound bass I got. So that's all I'm about, that positivity, not trying to slander anybody, not trying to hop in those DMs or hop in a space or whatever. So if we're trying to make sense of Mitchell Robinson and his decisions, let's remember the fans make the environment. The FO, the coach, and the other players make the environment. And he's going to do what's good for him. So I don't think it's fair to say he's completely gone, because the way he's playing, the way he's acting with this team, it looks like he wants to be here for the future. So I'm not ready to say he's gone completely. And I think to say, oh, because his uncle shows disdain, or because Mark Berman or Ian Begley can say, oh, vaguely, oh, he could get a contract somewhere else, I don't think that's the right move to say, oh, he's definitely leaving. So Mitchell Robinson, we have not given up on you. I think you could be a key part to this team. I think you were criminally undervalued for the majority of your career, and if it takes you leaving to get what you deserve, then do it. We're not gonna string you up over that. Do what's right for you, but we're hoping that you're doing it in the orange and blue. All right, baby, we here. Thank you so much for stopping by the channel, Mitchell Robinson. I hope that you can see this, hear our words, and let you know that whatever works for you, we're here for it. But I haven't given up on you. I don't think other Knicks fans have either. I think we can see him back in blue and orange next year for sure. It's just a matter of making it work. All right, guys. Thank you so much for your time and patience. Give me that big Nick energy. I'm Big Nick Burke. Thank you so much.
Bert knows basketball, y'all.